Hey guys, I have a lesson that I just uploaded to oilu.org on it's one that I think that can be beneficial to store level employees as well as the franchisees. It's essentially about our policy of resolution of complaints at the store level, trying to not let things exceed, get past the store level. We do this for a few reasons. It's not because we don't want to do the work in the back office, but we truly believe that from a customer service standpoint, if we can have resolution of problems at the store level, that's the best outcome for everyone involved. Um, so really, at the end of the day, complaints in our space come from a few different areas. Typically, there's complaints about price, which usually has to do with price transparency. There's complaints about the service, and that can be anything from employee attitude to um, the actual speed or carelessness, or it could sometimes just be a lack of education on the customer's part, which at the end of the day is a failure of the store employees to inform them. So we'll see that a lot with stores that are not as great at doing the value statement. And then, of course, there's mistakes that can be made, whether it's strip drain plugs, not cleaning off oil, and it's spilling and dripping in someone's driveway, something along those lines. And then, of course, the dreaded, uh, engine problem due to a catastrophic mistake like a double gasket um, or not putting in the oil or draining a transmission. Almost every problem can be traced back to not going through the process. So, from a training standpoint, this training is not about how to avoid the problems in the first place. This is more dealing with the problem once they come, once they happen. But a key component to this for the store level employees is laid out in this lesson. The first thing that we try to do whenever there's a complaint um, is we try to get a hold of the employees that were the ones that did the service, right? So if a complaint comes in through Facebook, instead of the customer calling the store, we'll pause. We'll get as the following information: your make, model, when did you come in, what do you believe is the problem, what do you believe happened, why do you believe that is what happened, and what is the desired outcome. Um, Unfortunately, in our space, there are not all above board actors, and we're dealing with a situation right now with a repair shop that's clearly just trying to bloat an invoice for something that, if had it been resolved at the store level, it actually would have never gotten to this point. But here we are, and so sometimes you need to dig out the information. Why do you believe this is what happened, and what is the desired outcome? So for the store employees, sometimes dealing with someone when you're um, not in the wrong is difficult. This is where empathy comes in to play, which is not natural to everybody, but you need to acknowledge how the person feels. You need to not rise to their energy level, especially if they are uh, being aggressive or being loud, or being anxious. Um, Validate their concern. Be like, I understand why you feel this way, and use clear communication to avoid confusion. Don't use terminology that they won't understand. Explain to them why. Like, here's a good example is the square default the square default discount is to itemize it. So if you give $10 off a $50 ticket and say 40 of it's the oil change and $10 is the filter, they're going to take $7 off of the oil change and $3 off of the filter. And some folks, when we would run a special that says, the oil changes, say, $30 or $40, just use round numbers, and then you take the $10 off, and then they see that only $7 came off the oil change, they'll complain, and Um, that is a price transparency issue, but it's also one of the main ways that people complain is a lack of price transparency. And so it's important to be able to explain to them and don't use jargon like line item, the discount is line itemed. Like, don't explain it like that. Um, there are definitely better ways to relay the message that you're trying to relay. So, um, when dealing with a problem, the best way to keep it at the store level is to maintain credibility and also maintain a level of authority. Don't make it seem like your decision, don't waffle on your decision. That's usually the easiest way to get someone to try to push it up another level, is if they think that you are not the final line. If you are, we are talking in concert with our employees when there are complaints and we tell them, hey, this is the outcome. Be very steadfast in your uh, issuance of what the verdict ends up being, because if there's any indication that they can go above your head, then they will try to do that. um so it goes along the same lines as very many other aspects of this business. You need to maintain credibility, you have to carry yourself with confidence. The oil change experience hinges so heavily on credibility. It's the same thing with dealing with complaints. The only way you're going to resolve them in a way that doesn't harm the brand or the store, or make you feel bad, is to handle it with credibility. So, this lesson is a good one to run through, have everyone run through it. And we're going to send this out to our store level employees shortly. I'm going to put it out in the Slack channel for the franchisees. And I think it's a good one for everyone to try. Thank you.